Was it local?
Or do you want to do yours at the beginning?
My what? My what?
The thing that you and I were talking about.
Ooh, a secret thing. Is it a surprise?
Sort of, not really though.
I mean, I think might be a good way to.
No, let's throw something else in the middle just so I can catch my breath.
Are you gonna?
Catch your breath from what?
Hello. Okay. We got no visitors yet. There's yet.
Oh, from.
Maybe it makes sense after all the beginning banter, like between the banter and the.
Oh, okay. Cool. There's gonna be a lot. Okay, you ready? Watch your ears here, fellas.
The tester.
Testing. Mole 2.
I thought we were doing the tests again. I'm like, all right, put these earphones on. Tests again. Oh, we have tests again.
All right.
Sounds
Boys.
good.
That tree attacked me.
Yeah, sip. Yeah, sippy.
Yeah.
Little sippy cup.
Quick
Okay.
massage in here. Scratch
Doesn't
my
it look
back.
like you're scratching?
That looks like a
down your
weird
back and
sex
you
toy.
couldn't just reach it. Where you're scratching, it's like, yeah, you can just reach that.
It looks like a
Seems like one of those pointless, like made for
It's like something
boomer
a
ads.
grandma would
Yeah.
use to scratch her back.
something off
It's
Etsy.
not a back scratcher.
But that's what you were just doing.
Yeah, I was joking.
How do you use it?
That's an
Use it like I'm
infomercial
using it
product.
right now.
Mm.
You put one end in your mouth and then you put the other end up your ass.
You could.
You could. You very well could.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the holes.
Mm-hmm. You got to put the other end
here.
Woo!
in your urethra.
Okay. Recording now.
Two dads, one boy, no prison. Sounds like an internet video you'd send to people you hate. My name's Andy. With me, as always, making a prisoner of us all, Muller.
Making you a prisoner with all my new Weird Mal Yankovic parodies.
Oh, good. With us as well, getting real excited when I said two dads. Great.
Oh, I remember my first calf raise.
And joining us today, here to tell us all about his two dads, Corey.
How's it going?
Oh, Corey, welcome back by popular demand.
Was there popular demand? I think I was the only one who was popularly demanding it.
But
Yeah.
the amount of demanding
Yeah.
was far greater than any other.
Transcended any other demands we've ever had.
Yeah.
So I decided I wanted to share something with the podcast.
Mhm.
I thought to myself, what's
Supposed to be
something I've
very
never told anybody? Something that
Tell me something
Michael
you've never
Scott-
told
yeah.
anyone before.
I'm not going to do that, Michael. So when I was
I am going to do that.
I am going to do that.
Mm.
So when I was 17, I walked into the kitchen, stuck my arm in the cupboard to grab a wagon wheel. You guys remember what wagon wheels are? Like those
Remember
wagon wheels.
chocolatey
Yeah.
marshmallow.
So you put them on your horse carriage and
Yeah.
lets you.
Yeah,
I remember when I
it's
was
a big
kid.
cupboard.
Yeah. So I stick my hand in there, and I remember thinking the other day when I was took a couple for lunch. I remember there was like a couple left or one left. So I remember grabbing it, and being a lazy teenager, I didn't take the box, so I didn't do anything. So I leave, and then the next day I go to grab a wagon wheel after school, and I reached for my arm in the cupboard, and I was like, "Oh yeah, there's not going to be any in here." I stuck my arm in, and there's a wagon wheel. It's like there's not supposed to be a wagon wheel in here. And then as I grab it, I was like, what if I found some weird like vortex where there's like this weird glitch where just wagon wheels keep regenerating in this box. It's like if I acknowledge it, then like the universe is gonna know I'm onto this. So I just play dumb and I grab my wagon wheel and I leave. And then the next day I walk into my kitchen and I stick my arm in and there's a wagon wheel in there. I was like, awesome. And then the next day I stuck my arm in and it was empty and my theory was done. So I was wrong. But for a couple days I was like, what if I stumbled upon some weird thing here? But no, it wasn't to be.
So there were just 3 right.
There's just 3 left. I just made a mistake.
Like you didn't check
And that's
around
the
on
great wagon wheel story.
There you go, guys.
You didn't check around like the second time, being like, "Oh, maybe I'll see if there's any more in the box." Wow.
How deep does this rabbit hole
How,
go?
how old were you?
I was like 17.
That's way too old for this story. This would have made sense if
I
you were
would-
5.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
Little
incredible.
inside my brain. Anyway. Yeah.
So Corey, we were all a big fan last time. You told us a story about old Larry who eats goldfish mixed with tomato soup raw out of a can.
Who was basically just a living corpse, as I remember.
Yeah.
So,
He was on borrowed time. Yeah. No, his special soup was a can of condensed soup without water.
what's condensed soup?
Condensed soup is
Like
tomato
tomato soup?
soup. You have to add water.
Yeah, you have to add
it.
a cup of water, like the
He-
same amount.
The mark of any quality food, where it's like just add water.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
He did not add the water to that. He just took the condensed soup, put it in a Ziploc container, and
Corey, this was a segue to your next story about
So,
old Larry.
no,
You
no,
already
this is
told
good.
this story.
yeah, I'm refreshing
He told
you.
the-
But wait, I don't know. It's been ages. I don't remember if I asked this question. So basically, he was just eating spice, like powder.
He like the can of soup. You have to add water to it.
Like
Add-
if you
add-
put a can of like Campbell soup, for instance, it's like if you dump it out, I
It's like in a
shaped
Jell-O.
thing. Yeah, it's like a Jello. So
gelatinous
if you get a
mess.
whisk and add some water, it turns
Yeah.
into a soup.
Andy
Alright.
doesn't know what
So
so
more
so
about-
he doesn't know what you're
Yeah, the,
talking
can,
about.
the cans of soup. And he's such an amateur cook. How many cans of soup are you even eating a week? You fucking idiot. All right, so
Anyway.
more about old Larry.
Okay, so old like
there's a touch up.
I'll
with previous
refresh.
old
I'll
Larry.
refresh you guys on old Larry, basically. So old Larry was our forklift driver at the job site,
Mhm.
which, oh God, I don't know how we didn't die with him being the forklift driver at the job site. He was at least 100 years old.
Yeah.
So his soup, his meal was every day he would eat beans out of the can, and then he would take a can of tomato soup, pour it into a Ziploc container, and then take goldfish, mix that in.
I remember you saying it was so he ate his beans during the week, and then
Yeah.
Friday was his special day to have
Yeah.
his special
His
soup
special
or something.
soup, yeah.
Anyway, so
Friday he had his special soup, which was
he treated
goldfish.
himself.
Yeah, really ritzed it up.
Yeah, Larry.
Um,
So you got another Larry?
I have another story involving Larry, but Larry is a minor character in this one. This one involves a kid named, we'll call him his name started with a D. We'll call him Darren for all purposes.
I like it.
Yeah.
It turns out his real name is just Darren. So
Yeah.
it works out perfect.
So I was when I was working on this job site, we were starting to clear out the levels at the top area when the cement truck could come in and pour out the concrete flooring.
Yeah.
And so I was assigned to work with this kid named Darren, and Darren was he was very unintelligent.
Very diplomatic.
Yeah. How could I say that? He was
How can I put this lightly?
Yeah,
He was a big
unintelligent.
fucking moron.
he was a danger to all of us, basically, and I'll tell you why. So first thing, he talked like most SoundCloud rappers talk, like he didn't use proper English. So
what do SoundCloud rappers sound like?
oh, I couldn't even do it. I'm way too white.
Okay, so they're very
Okay.
talented, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. So he used abbreviations for stuff and like euphonics for
Like, what's an
everything.
abbreviation he would use?
I don't know, like IT and
I eat.
I
like
eat
J Dog
and
He's just
like
J-Rock.
J Rock on
Oh.
Trailer Park
J
Boys.
Dog.
Yeah.
J-Dog.
Rock head.
like other
Night.
words I can't say.
Like a J Rock type.
Like a
We-
J-Rock
We
type.
got it. We got it.
He was liked his 7-Eleven coffee, carried around 2 ponchos all the time.
Why?
Two
Why do you always have 2 ponchos?
just in case it rained, and he
I guess one would get wet and
Yeah.
you could change
I'd like
them,
if
or-
Like
they
a
were
Native
Mexican
American Indian
ponchos.
from the Wild West days.
no, like the ponchos you get in the bags, basically, like
But you
the
just carry it around in case it rains.
yeah, in case it rains. He's like, and we'll follow up that story actually.
Okay.
I'll tell you the story of the plastic ponchos
There is
in
a story.
just a minute.
There's a story of the plastic
Edge of my
ponchos.
seat.
Stay
here.
tuned.
Yeah, yes, don't change that dial.
I didn't realize how like intellectually challenged he was until I started working with him.
Mhm.
And so our boss at the time, and I'll kind of
Did you meet him? Like, were you friends before?
no, absolutely not.
So you so you met him on the job.
I met him on the job the first day.
So you
and
didn't realize how dumb he was until you met him.
No,
Oh,
I had,
yeah.
yeah,
Checks out.
checks out. Mueller approved. All right,
This story is
good.
check.
All right. So my boss comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, I got a job for you. Go up to the 5th floor and with Darren and clear out all the wood so we can pour the concrete." So we start doing that, and I noticed Darren's got both of his ankles taped with duct tape, and I'm like,
With duct tape.
and I don't really think nothing of it. I'm like, he's probably like trying to
Like right on his legs, or
right on
like
no
the-
no on his pant legs,
Okay.
thick,
Oh, okay.
like a whole.
It's not like he got wrapped like for sports injury.
No,
it's like
no, no.
actual just duct tape.
He's got it's like on his jeans.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I think he might. I'm like, oh, I'm talking to him, and we're moving stuff around, and we're taking nails out of stuff. We're moving the bad lumber, and then we're moving the good lumber. And I'm like, I strike up a conversation with him. I'm like, hey, I noticed you got your ankles duct taped there. Are your boots broken? And he's like, no. Yesterday I broke both my ankles, and I just didn't feel like going to the hospital. And I was like, at the same time, he's like, yeah, I was on the 2nd floor, and I jumped down to the 1st floor.
I jumped out the window.
Pretty much. He's like, I was on the 2nd floor, and the ladder dropped, so I just jumped down to the 2nd floor, and both my ankles broke. And I was
Holy
like,
crap.
There's no
He's-
way he was walking
he
just
was
fine.
yeah, he had like snapped both of his ankles.
Oh
Like
dear lord.
How would he be walking just
he
fine?
had him
like,
taped
just, like,
real good,
duct
I
tape?
guess.
he had him duct tape, red green secret recipe.
Like not even like a splint, like a piece of wood.
No,
for
he
duct
had
tape,
them
just
duct
tape?
taped. And the thing that like it was an inch thick of duct tape, like
Oh,
on his
jeez.
ankles. And so I'm like, oh, okay. So I just kind of brushed that off.
I mean, this guy's a
Just
good
for-
worker. He's
Just
like
for
showing up to
clarity,
work.
like it's not like we live in the States here where you're going to be spending $5,000 to get something like that fixed in the hospital.
You mean
Like,
to get something like that sneezed on? in the
I know.
it would
hospital?
it would just be an annoying wait.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I didn't want to miss work.
Yeah.
So I just decided to duct tape him. I was like, oh,
And I didn't want to miss any sleep either,
okay.
so
Yeah.
I went to bed on time.
He's like, I'm fine. It only hurts every now and then. I'm like, you should be in the hospital. And like, so we keep working and stuff like that. We start talking about music, and I'm like, he's like, what kind of music do you like? And I'm like, oh, I'm listening to this right now. And he's like, do you like rap? And I'm like, yeah, sometimes. I'm like, I like Ice Cube, and I
Insane
like
Clown Posse.
I like the
Yeah.
old
Yeah.
old school raps.
All the
like I
all
like
the classics.
I like everyone from
Body count.
like I like Wu-Tang. I like Dr. Dre. And he's like, well, what about Eazy-E? And I'm like, I don't mind Eazy-E. He's like, I like to live my life just like Eazy-E. And I'm like,
So he's HIV positive.
Has like 5 kids with like 4 different moms.
yeah, I was like, how do you? He's like, I tried to live my life just like Eazy when I was younger. I was like, he's like, but
He died at like early 30s.
yeah,
yeah.
no, this kid's probably would be dead.
So
by
did
his
he
own
have AIDS?
30s.
Was that what he was getting at? or-
No, he never confirmed
He
that
was
he was
trying to ask
HIV
you
positive.
to
No,
have sex with him and
Yeah.
get AIDS. Too.
So basically what happens is he's telling me he's like, oh, I hustled and I deal drugs when I was younger and blah 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 blah. He's like, and I got 17 girls pregnant. And just slip that in there. And he's like,
He had to have been exaggerating.
no, he was not. He
17?
said 17.
Oh,
He
dear.
had-
This is a story
He had
about
gotten
Corey
17
believing people
girls
that
pregnant.
he shouldn't believe. He's keeping track, like he's keeping tabs with all these
Yeah, 'cause
girls.
he-
This is like pre-internet days.
He said he wanted to live like Easy, so I was like, I'm like, you
Yeah.
already told me you broke your ankles, and
Yeah.
from jumping from one floor, and he
I already
was
believe you.
he was already unintelligent.
The important
Oh,
question.
Darren.
The important question: where does old Larry play into
Yeah,
this?
that's what I was just wondering.
I'm
Actually.
on the edge of my seat waiting for
Old
old
Larry. So old Larry's driving the forklift to,
Presumably drunk.
maybe we can't confirm that.
drunk on soup.
Yeah, drunk on soup. Old Larry's driving the forklift.
You can hear old Larry smacking his lips of
Yeah.
goldfish and tomato
Yeah.
spices on
Can
the
hear it,
driving
can
the
hear it
fork.
over the forklift.
Old Larry's driving the forklift basically, and we're putting the lumber into the bucket basically the entire time. So
Yeah.
old Larry plays a minor role in this, but
Is that all he did?
yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
Um,
So
there,
he's just in the background.
there is more. Like, well, the thing is, when you see old Larry like driving the forklift, when he's not working, he's just kind of driving around, picking stuff up and moving it to another place.
Isn't that what
I gotta collect a
loading people
paycheck.
do?
Well, it's like it's not even if you.
It's just not to a place that
It's not to a place. It's
Yeah.
like he's picking up one piece of lumber and then like moving it, and half the time he's dropping half of it.
Well,
That sounds-
he can't put himself out of work. He's got to.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's got.
Yeah.
Are
Gotta
you
chase
sure
himself.
that old Larry isn't my dad?
I don't know.
Because it taught me everything I know, and that's how I would be doing.
And
if I had that type of job.
so they ended up passing.
No,
me
you'd be sitting in your car in the parking lot. Going, well, they didn't tell me minute by minute what to be doing.
Oh, you pizza! I got to fluff the cheese.
Probably, yeah, just jerking off in his car.
Yeah,
Yep.
Didn't tell
Anyway.
me I couldn't jerk off.
yeah.
So this is
Sound
where,
logic.
this is where it gets very clear that he's very unintelligent. So he's like, okay,
So okay, there's more.
there's
it's all one
there's
story.
there
Good.
is more. So Darren basically says, okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Instead of moving, because we have to move the good lumber from room to room as they're pouring the concrete. And Darren's like, that's going to take too long. I'll just build a shelf and we can put all the lumber on there. So he takes 2 2x4s and he nails them to the wall. And then he,
Smart.
yeah, we stack all the lumber on there. So we're about to, and I put my water jug on the floor. We go to the other room. We're going to do the same thing in the other room. Halfway through this, we hear a loud bang. All the lumber has fallen down onto the floor, basically.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Darren is just like halfway under a pile. Or
Yeah.
old Larry just halfway under a pile.
No,
Oh, that would be
unfortunately
great.
not.
That's
no.
how this story ends.
Basically, so
Ending.
our boss comes in the room and he's like, "What the hell happened?" And he's like, "I built a shelf." And he's like, "Oh, out of 2 2x4s?" Like he's like, "That's 500 pounds of lumber you put on 2 2x4s." And this had been like we had so many safety concerns at this job site. It was insane. Eventually, we had a safety meeting and like a safety person came in like, "Okay, so guys, yeah, so don't do that." There was a big problem around the job site. People were peeing.
Don't do anything unsafe.
Yeah, people were peeing
He
in
has to say that,
bottles
though.
and just leaving it everywhere.
Yeah, that's
Like a
well, where
trucker?
where
Like,
else are you
yeah.
gonna
I
do
did
it?
that in my room one time. I had a piss bottle. I left in my room for like 8 months.
Ew.
And then I went, dude, it was the grossest thing I've ever smelled.
Of course it was.
So I'd be gaming and well, anyway, I'd be in my bedroom. I'd wake up, so I'd have to piss.
Just
And
get a
the
stadium
bathroom was
buddy.
upstairs.
Oh, that's
I had one
nice.
bathroom, so I'd piss and then just go back to sleep. Otherwise, you got to walk up the stairs, and you're awake by the time you get to bed. You can't fall back asleep.
That is true.
So 9 months go by. I opened it, and of course you smell it, right?
you
Why did
gotta
you open
smell
it?
it.
Just to pour it out, or
You got to pour it out. You got to
Okay.
recycle it, and then
yeah,
it
that's
was-
the one. That's
it was
really gonna break the camel's
so
back.
gross. And then pouring that into the toilet. I didn't
10
pour it down
months-
the sink.
10-month-old urine
Anyway,
is gross.
piss
a
bottles.
bunch of acrid piss.
I am not unfamiliar with piss bottles. Sorry, Corey.
Yeah, so our boss basically is like, okay, you two should not work together at all anymore. So he sends me up. to
So
work.
there's a part of this story where you did something wrong then too. If he's if he's specifically separating. you
No, he basically was like, Darren is going to kill this kid.
Oh, okay.
If he's going to get hurt, it's going to be on his
So
own
why
accord.
did they
Some-
just
fire Darren.
I don't know why they didn't fire people there.
I guess he's got a lot of mouths to feed, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's got 17 kids to feed.
There's only 2 weeks left before I get my pension.
Yeah. So they send me up to work with this other guy. And it gets even crazy because then he's like, the first thing that what we're going to do is he's like, you're going to go on this harness and you're going to lean out the side of the building and on the roof of the building
Oh Lord.
and toss garbage into the crane. And he's like, okay, so this is a harness.
How else are you
It
gonna
goes
get
like
into the
this. He's putting a harness on me. I've never been trained to use a harness before ever.
Well, I
that
think you
sounds scary,
I think
man.
you just the way you use the harness is that you fall off the building and it just catches.
You have to have a
Yeah.
license to operate a harness, to like actually wear a harness. You have
like it's
to-
just a rope that's tied to your back, like to the back of your belt, right? Like it
No.
holds you up if you fall.
not at all.
No.
If you're old Larry, they tie it around your neck.
Yeah.
Oh, Lair.
Oh, Larry.
Okay, so you're on the harness.
No,
I have seen these harnesses.
Yeah,
before,
sorry.
by the way.
they're like for painters and people who do window cleaning as well. You have to be trained to use them. I was never trained to use one, so basically, he walks up to me. He's like, "Okay, step in here, boop, tied it up," and he ties it to one of the support beams in the in the room, and
L2 support beam.
yeah, basically.
Ties it to a,
55.
ties it to a
So he's like,
chair.
walk out on that ledge and start putting all of the garbage in that crane. And the crane operator comes in. She's like, "What the hell's going on?" And he's like, "I'm getting him to put garbage in the crane." She's
What type
like,
of slapdick operation? Where's old Larry?
Oh god, yeah. So safety was not the top priority on that job site. Basically, yeah, it was scary. I wasn't at this point, like I'd almost died, so a couple times.
did you-
So I was like,
How
you
did
know
you
what,
almost die?
bring it up. Well, if I had been in that room for like a couple more minutes, all that lumber would have fell on me.
right.
Like my water jug was crushed. Just so
Right.
It wasn't a piss jug?
no,
Okay.
no, it's not. Yeah. So at this point, they're like, okay, you're gonna push a broom for the rest of your job title here, basically. No more like people just are giving me weird tasks to do that they don't want to do and not trained in anything. And yeah, it was pretty
Okay, wait.
nuts.
Where's the story going?
Yeah, is this
The-
just your life, your entire
You're
life
just
at
telling
this
us
job?
about your day.
I want to know about old Larry.
Yeah,
That's all.
tell
I
me about
wanna
old
know.
Larry.
Well, old Larry. I didn't spend too much time working with old Larry. Like I ate lunch with old Larry.
You promised a story about old
And
Larry.
we're going to get it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our
I
story.
said old Larry played a minor role in this.
Oh,
What was the
You did-
minor role?
He drove the forklift
He
in the
drove
background.
the forklift in the background.
You
That's- He wasn't kidding.
you were really not kidding about that minor role.
All right, this
There was
works.
a parallax scrolling background of old Larry while this. Just imagine
Pretty
that.
This work site story is over.
We would basically drop him off at the same liquor store every day, and that was it.
Okay.
Oh,
Moving on from construction site
Yeah.
stories. Last Saturday we were doing some construction on my dad's shop. No,
In comes old Larry.
yeah, old Larry showed up. So there's a new movie out. It's not that new, but it's new enough. A Jim Carrey movie called Dark Crimes.
okay.
And I saw the
Didn't
blue.
that come out like 2 years
I haven't
ago?
heard
Yeah,
of
it's a
I've never heard of this.
2016. The first
So
time
it's
I've
not
seen
a
it.
new movie.
Relatively.
It's pretty high up in the
In the
IMDb.
scheme of the
scheme of the
universe,
universe,
it's pretty
yeah.
new,
It's
Andy.
a matter of perspective.
All right.
So I was like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. One more recent Jim Carrey movie. Let's see what the movie's about. So I flipped over the Blu-ray in the Walmart.
I hate Jim Carrey.
Checked out the back description, and it says Jim Carrey stars as a detective investigating a murder.
that was it.
And that was
Alright.
it. That was the whole description.
Cool.
Let's not give away too much now.
Yeah. No spoilers, I
that
guess.
movie must suck.
Mm.
It's like, so there was kind of this trend. So for a long time, when you would get video games way back, like Super Nintendo
Yeah.
N64, you'd get this awesome box with it. Like,
Case, yeah.
if you got Zelda Ocarina of Time, it would have this embossed box. You could
Oh, yeah.
even feel the letters, and they'd
Yeah.
poke out of the box.
Yeah,
and
those
they
days
did
are
it.
long over.
And the instruction book was even cool.
Yeah, the
Like,
instruction book was cool. It had art in it
Yeah.
and stuff. And then slowly the instruction manuals got kind of like, oh, it doesn't even really tell you how to
No.
control the game. It just gives you like
it's like warranty info.
epilepsy,
Yeah.
epilepsy warnings and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And basically nothing. Like I remember playing Final Fantasy in 1997, and there was a walkthrough for the first
Yeah.
level in the manual.
Yeah, man. They did that.
They would have like comic strips,
Yeah.
strips
Yeah.
of, like
The Sonic
really
games had
cool
some
shit.
pretty wicked stuff.
Oh yeah. But which ones did you see?
It's like I don't remember any specific off the top of my head, but like stuff like Kirby's Adventure for the Nintendo, you'd have all the drawings of like
Yeah.
all the different enemies and whatnot, like
Mm.
art, like not just like a screenshot of the enemies.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that. Nowadays, it's like if it comes with an instruction,
It doesn't come
manual,
with an
it's
instruction.
just
No.
warranty information.
So we hit this point. I think it was the PlayStation 3, like especially coming to the end of that era where it got so bad where you'd flip the back of the case and there would be
It's all just like copyright.
it would
stuff.
be
It's
90,
Yeah.
terrible.
90% just legal information and like
Depressing.
maybe a
Yeah.
tiny sentence at the top that's like followed Drake.
Yeah.
in the
Yeah,
in
with
the
like
chart.
Just devoid of
with
personality.
a bunch of like half-an-inch screenshots on the
yeah,
Yeah.
like 1
It's like, why
millimeter
was
by
this
1
even
millimeter
included? Yeah.
screenshots. So now the movies have really taken a page out
Oh, yeah.
to Jim Carrey's movie, and it's one sentence and then the same sentence in 10 different languages all the
Yeah,
way
it's
down.
terrible.
So good job, Jim
Thanks,
Carrey.
Did you
Walmart.
see that? Like, there was that game, the second of the Batman games, like Arkham City or whatever.
Mhm.
Did you see the cover for it, where it's like a picture of Batman and then just like 20 quotes from reviewers? This was on the front
That's
cover
just-
of it.
Oh, that's the Game of the Year edition. Actually,
Yeah, it was-
they reviewed that cover, and They were-
reviewed
Who
the
reviewed it?
cover?
I think it was Electric Playground.
Oh,
reviewed
I
it.
know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
It
there's
says
the text
10
is
out of
so
10,
big.
and they're
Yeah.
like, "What's the like?" Victor Lucas, I
That's-
think, was like, "What's this game even called? 10 out of 10?"
It does look like the title of the game is 10 out of 10
What a
because that's
big
the
dick
biggest
wag.
font. Definitely worth.
Here, Braden, come just wheel.
Yeah,
over
I was
here for
gonna
a
check
second.
on
Watch your
my phone.
headphones.
Oh, now we gotta wait for Braden.
Yeah.
Check it out. Look,
But
for,
yeah,
look
it's
for
just
10
the
out of
most
10.
insane cover. It's just riddled with words from reviewers and like bonus content. That's the
That
front
looks like
cover.
the cover of a gaming magazine.
Yeah, it really does. It's
That doesn't
so
look like a game at
terrible.
all.
I miss Nintendo Power, like the old school ones when they have posters
Oh
inside
yeah,
of
they
them.
were great.
Dude,
I miss the new Nintendo
Yeah.
Power magazines. Not pictured.
I got a cardboard box of Nintendo Powers that are missing.
Missing.
That's
How
so
did
many
that happen?
posters.
Yeah, I had like 2 years worth of them from like the mid 90s, and then another year subscription from the late 90s. I had them packed away. It was one of those things where you move, these things just randomly go missing. And
Yep.
it was one of those things where I moved one time and I was like, and I just never found them.
This is
Riveting.
the saddest thing I've
I
ever
know.
heard. This is terrible.
Old
Wait a
Larry's
minute.
got them.
Minimal Uncle Larry, Nintendo Powers are lost.
Yeah,
We're
Phew, this is
a bit of a downer.
so Braden.
Speaking of downers,
Speaking of
Speaking of
downers,
downs.
no wonder this is such a
Speaking
down.
of
Yeah,
downs.
speaking of downs.
so our audience is aware, this will be Braden's last episode.
Oh,
spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
Last, I'd say
At
regular
least for like
for a while.
20 episodes.
At least for
20,
eight-
or 20 years.
At
or
least for
something like that.
18 years.
As it turns out, Braden is leaving the show to pursue a professional career in competitive penis memory championship.
Yeah.
For a while now, Braden's, maybe our audience isn't aware, but he's been going to penis memorizing competitions where you have a line of penises and well, just a line of naked dudes, really. And you have 5 minutes to memorize all the penises
Mhm.
in front of you. You're allowed to touch, taste, smell, look as much as you want for 5 minutes, and then after they cover up the top half of their body, and you gotta match which penis belongs to which guy. Braden's been doing this as a hobby for a while, but now he's deciding to take it to the professional level, make some money, and
Yeah.
he's going to be spending so much time studying, the different penises and all the variances that come in.
Sorts of
true.
Jewish and non-Jewish type penises.
Yeah, exactly. All the penises.
No, I'm not
So-
quite there yet, but they do like blind Rubik's cube solving,
Yeah.
blind penising too, where you touch it and you taste it and you smell it, and then you back away and you gotta
You
know.
just do it.
Yeah.
Those
I'm not there
Asians.
yet though.
He's
but
had a lot of
working on it.
success as a hobby, so now he's taking it to the next degree professionally, and won't have time for us anymore. So
No,
after today, you're dead to us.
You're dead to us.
It's- yeah.
You won second place in the Canadian penis memory championship.
I did.
Right.
Second place. Going-
Second place. You can memorize
Made
it.
the newspaper.
Yeah, you made the newspaper.
That's
in our
right.
Town.
Got the Silver Boner Award.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You can memorize a deck of 52 penises in 41
Yeah.
seconds, and recall them.
Correct.
Good. Yes. So, cheers to you.
Thank you.
This is your big send-off episode, and as your reward for 47 episodes of service, you can tell one personal story. You can do that now. You're on the clock. You got 30 seconds.
And it better involve old Larry.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and Larry are hanging
Yeah.
out.
Well, this one time we had Corey on our podcast, and he told me this story about this guy named Old Larry.
This is a good story.
Yeah, this is really good. You could just make it up.
So This has nothing to do with the fact
You
that
ready to
I've.
take your story?
Yeah,
You're gonna redeem your coupon.
I feel so privileged,
Romantic.
guys.
It's our podcast
I will.
coupons.
Thank you.
we
So
should start doing that.
Yeah.
Anytime we have a guest, we give them coupons of things they're allowed to do, and say you have to hand out the coupon. You're allowed to tell one story about being molested, only one.
yeah, keep it short though.
Keep it short.
Yeah, make it juicy. So me leaving has
Got three
nothing
choose
to.
from. Choose them.
Yeah, and nothing to do with the fact that I knocked up my wife and we have a baby on the way. That's
all-
neither here nor there.
It's
Nope.
all penis research.
It's all penis research. That's fully why. I will redeem my coupon and tell you the story.
Funny thing, Braden doesn't no idea what a vaginas look like though.
Nope.
He can't memorize. Can't remember.
I can't look at them.
for the life of him.
Vaginas are for degenerates.
Yeah, that's why I do it in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All right,
Like Heath
what's
Ledger.
your coupon?
My
thing or
redeem
whatever?
my
This
coupon.
is a real
Uh,
meandering episode so far.
Yeah,
It is.
I wonder
I
why.
wonder.
Yeah.
I went to bed drunk when I was 21 or 22, and as I was passing out, I grabbed my phone, and it just made so much sense to me. It was so funny. It's like, you know what I should do? And this is like I had no one to bounce this off of, and no one to laugh with me. I said to myself, "Self, you should text your dad and tell him you're gay." So I was like 1 or 2 in the morning. As I'm passing out, I said, "Dad, I think I'm gay," and I closed my phone, passed out, and went to sleep. And then I woke up at in the morning, 9 or 10 or whatever, had a good sleep. I'm like, feeling pretty good. And my phone's ringing. I'm like, who the hell's calling me so early? And I answer the phone. It's my dad. And I have no recollection that I did this. And my dad's like, "Hey, is everything okay? How's it going?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, good. What's going on? What are you doing?" My dad was just learning how to text at the time. He didn't call me that much anymore. And he says, "I got your text." I was like, "What text?" He's like, the one about you being gay. I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I was just kidding." He's like, "Oh. So how's it going?" Just tries to play it off like that wasn't the reason he called.
Don't worry, son. I always knew.
Yeah, it was much less awkward than the naked clown story, which I will tease. You have to go back and listen to our episode.
You told that one before.
Yeah, I know,
right?
but I'm saying it was less awkward.
Yeah.
At least I could blame that one on being drunk.
Yeah, I wish I knew
So.
what episode that one was on.
It.
That's
It's
what,
the It.
The It episode.
Oh, yeah.
If you want a good naked clown story, you go back.
you go back to it and
Oh,
you'll
yeah.
find some naked clown stories. All right. You guys ready to get into some movies?
Are we?
Some
All
deep
right.
movie
Is that-
talk.
Yeah, let's get some deep
Movie is in our
Do you
title.
guys want my other story?
Yeah, tell it soon.
All right.
We should.
got-
we got to get this movie going.
Let's
I think.
get the movie going.
We'll
and,
come back.
Yeah,
All right.
we'll get into you, bro. Our most hated movie ever. Yeah, I'm not gonna have anyone to say that.
No,
for
yeah,
me.
Andy
No.
is such a hater.
I'll
You gotta
be
have a
dead
soundbite
silent.
where
Yeah, I gotta get a
the Braden soundbite of the week.
So-
That's me. The noise I make doing calf raises.
Jingle all the way.
Django.
Django all the way.
What a timely summer movie to pick. Fucking Christmas movie. Like a blatant Christmas movie. It's not like Gremlins or something where it's really not a Christmas movie or Die Hard or something. Jingle All the Way. Brilliant.
Django all the way. It's about a black guy who tries to get a toy for his kid, but the store clerk is racist. So
Yeah.
every mall he goes to, they're just racist, so they won't give him the toy that he wants to buy for his kid for Christmas.
Yeah, he doesn't. The white people don't want him appropriating Christmas. So you can't. You got to stick with Kwanzaa, buddy.
So Jingle All the Way, it's a classic Arnold Schwarzenegger hit. Not pretty.
Andy looks so
Wow.
annoyed.
Arnold.
Go
Very little
on.
planning went into this episode.
No, I planned a long time for this episode. Actually, I've been planning since I was a kid, since I first and last saw Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, our rigid planning for this was us
Yeah.
talking and Muller continuously saying, "Don't worry, we'll plan it out later."
Yep.
And then at like 4 p.m., hey, let's do Jingle All the
And
Way.
here we are recording.
Yeah, sorry, that was like 4 hours
Jingle
ago.
All the way.
Jingle All the
in
Way.
the middle of summer.
It's a story about a ripped dad who's trying to
Arnold
get
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's
John
trying,
Matrix.
Yeah, he's trying to get a doll for his kid
A
for
Turbo Man
Christmas.
doll.
A Turbo Man a Turbo Kid doll.
Turbo Kid.
That would have been sweet. A Turbo Man doll and
The Turbo Man look does look a lot like the Turbo Kid armor.
Yeah,
They
they,
that big red
It
suit.
might have
they
been an
must have.
homage.
They ripped Turbo
yeah, I
Kid
hope
off.
so.
Yeah, big Turbo Kid ripoff.
Big Turbo Kid
That's right.
ripoff. And so, of course, like everything is at Christmas, it's all sold out, and he goes mall to mall and can't find it. Sinbad the pirate shows up. From Shazam, Sinbad shows up, and he's a mailman, and he's
From
trying-
Shazam, right?
Yeah, from Shazam. He's trying to get a Turbo Man doll for his kid, and then Phil Hartman's there, and he's trying to
Yep.
nail Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife, which to me is like, what are you doing,
Very
man?
aggressively.
Like, that's like,
I'm unaware of that part of the movie.
Are Arnie and her together in the movie, or what's the story?
They
Are they
are.
divorced, or
yeah, he's just with his wife.
No,
and Phil Hartman just tries to nail her?
well, Phil Hartman's character has been like he's been banging pretty much every single mom in the neighborhood, and like they allude to that in the beginning because it's
Okay.
like all the single moms in the neighborhood are talking to Phil Hartman.
They really like him because
And
he's
he's
like Mr. Perfect.
giving them
Oh,
recipes,
okay.
and he's like, "My wife died such and such years ago," and he's like, "I
But
really
she's
miss
just
her."
made up.
And like,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
and he's like, "My dad," and the kid's like, "My dad really gets along with all these women." Like he's like, "All the women love my dad." Like,
Huh.
yeah,
I think it's at this point our audience is thinking, oh, they're actually talking about Jingle.
Jingle
All
the Way.
this
Didn't-
wasn't a joke.
Didn't Phil Hartman's wife kill him in real life?
Yes.
Yeah, she was like a hardcore drug addict, and she killed him in
Okay.
sleep, something like that.
Figured we could make a joke about that or something.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys got anything there?
We should come up with a joke about that for the podcast.
Great.
That was the joke, you
Yeah.
idiot.
So this movie is just awkward scenario after annoying character after more awkward scenarios of Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's trying to get a Turbo Man, so he goes to the factory, and the factory is just full of a bunch of Santa Clauses making and
Why?
elves like making the Turbo Man doll. I don't know why, but they're all dressed up as Santas, and I think Hulk Hogan is there or somebody like Hulk Hogan.
I think Hulk Hogan's there.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger just starts fighting them with candy canes and like giant candy canes and just starts wrestling with them and fighting with them. And then like I think he just ends up getting in trouble anyways.
They're making fake Turbo Man dolls.
Oh, yeah,
counterfeit
they're-
Turbo
yeah,
Man.
they're counterfeit
They're
Turbo Man.
Mexican Turbo Man dolls. So
That sounds pretty great. Well, this is past mid '90s Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is
Yeah,
a
is
few
not the
years
prime.
past his prime.
Yeah.
Like, this was the beginning of the end in terms of quality.
Yeah, and that's
it
what
really
Jingle All
is-
the Way did to Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's why I hate this movie so
I am
much.
looking at his filmography right now. It was only a couple years prior that he did True Lies,
Yeah.
and a couple years prior to that he did Terminator 2. So this really was close to the
Yeah.
how
the
far away are
downfall.
we from Batman and Robin?
that was
Couple
that
years?
was the following movie after Jingle
Okay.
All the Way.
Oh,
this
there's
really,
the fall right there.
Yeah, Jingle All the Way is
I
the
mean,
fall
he did
to Batman.
do Junior and Eraser before that, so, like just before.
Oh,
that,
Eraser.
so-
Eraser's sweet, man.
Dude, it
Yeah.
has that awesome gun that can shoot
The
through
Farsight.
walls. The Farsight.
Yeah.
I don't think they call it the Farsight in that. That's what it's
No,
called.
That's
Perfect
what's
Dark
called Perfect
completely
Dark.
ripped it off, though.
Yeah, which was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Farsight was a great gun in Perfect Dark. Let's
Yeah.
talk about Perfect Dark for
Let's
a
do
while.
But yeah, I mean, anyone who's watching our live stream right now knows that we love Arnold Schwarzenegger with the
And we-
there's five
the five
VHS.
VHS covers.
We have a fifth one of
Taking up the
Commando
screen.
facing us. We've probably said that before.
But this movie, it definitely was right at the downfall. of
Mm.
Arnold. It's when Hollywood no longer wanted him anymore, and they weren't making movies to cater to his gigantic muscles.
There's Stallone actually does an interview kind of about why they did these ridiculous movies back in the day,
Mhm.
and
not,
it was
not ridiculous. He's
uh,
wrong there already.
Stallone did a bunch of. He does an interview with I think it was Conan, and he was
The
talking about
Barbarian.
that would be Arnold, but
yeah.
so he does an interview with Conan, and he's talking. He's like, "Oh, back in the day, me and Arnold had the same agent, so
Hmm.
he would tell me like if he would basically pit us against each other for movies.
Huh.
So he's like movies like Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, and like what was it, Kindergarten Cop, and other like movies for like kids
Yeah.
and family movies, like he was giving the both, and he's like, if you don't do it, Arnold's gonna do it, and then he'd say the same thing to
Yeah, funny.
Arnold. He's like, if you don't do it, Stallone's gonna do it. Like,
smart from the
So he just
Yeah.
tricked them
smart
into
from the
tanking
agent's
their
standpoint.
careers.
Hey, he made money, I'm sure.
he was.
Yeah.
They were sure these were the movies that they wanted, like the audiences wanted, was
Yeah.
the more family oriented movies, because it's like we can't sell action movies anymore. We have to sell these kind of movies now.
What happened? I have to rewatch Last Action Hero to figure
Action
out the
movies got
history.
shitty.
Well, it's almost like all the guys that grew up watching those movies and then they got married and had families. It was like they got married with them, right? And they started doing all these wimpy movies,
Oh,
like for
yeah.
families and stuff. It's
Right.
kind of weird.
I think I kind of have a theory that this is going to be sacrilege for some people, that Die Hard maybe was killed that era, because it went from, you know, movies like Conan the Barbarian and like Rocky and Rambo, and especially the later Rocky and Rambo, and any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and like Predator, where you just have a cast of hulking monster looking people, and then Die Hard came out and it was about the everyday guy.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, he was the family guy trying to make ends meet. Like, he wasn't this invincible statuesque god,
Right.
just walking around thumping guys on the top of the head with their
Like a gorilla.
gigantic muscles. He was
Subconsciously,
more of an
maybe.
everyday guy. So
Yeah.
you know, as good as Die Hard is, it's, that might have started a trend of like,
Yeah.
you know, catering to you. You could be
Mhm.
our action hero. You couldn't be when you were watching Predator. You're like, I'm not that. Like,
Yeah.
to maintain that physique, like,
It's a full-time job and then some.
exercising between scenes, between takes,
Pretty much.
Like,
Yeah.
So anyway, Jingle All the Way. This was the
Jingle.
downfall for
Jungle All
right
the
at
Way.
the downfall for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Agreed. And before we continue on, why don't we do some Baby Boomers Are Shit of the
Of
week?
the week.
New fan favorites.
Actually,
Taking
that's the
care of
first time that's been a
business.
truthful
That's
statement, by the
probably
way.
true.
Yeah.
I was on fire with that idea.
That's right. Boomer topic of the week, boys. It's another thing that I think boomers are keeping alive and trendy to them, because I think amongst boomers it's cool, is Harley Davidson.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Mm.
Am I wrong?
I don't
I
know.
always see
I
boomer.
wanna
It's
hear your theory,
usually boomers. Like Harley Davidson, in my experience, is usually for douchebags, and it's people riding around super loud bikes, and it's always boomers with like wearing leather jackets, and like I don't know, they just look like they're tough. They think they're so tough and invincible on them, and they're loud and obnoxious.
When really they're in their headphones, they're listening to Taking Care of Business.
Yeah, and it's like you're just a dude on a motorcycle. Like you're not that
It
cool.
reminds me. Do you remember that? It was just a few years back, that Tim Allen movie. It was like Wild Hogs.
Oh no!
Oh,
Like
dude.
Tim Allen,
All the
Josh,
boomer
like,
guys.
This is
Yeah.
this is a poster for exactly what you're talking
Yes.
about.
Yes.
Like a bunch of just aging
Yeah.
dads trying to be cool again,
Listening to their old rock,
hitting the
thinking they're-
road,
yeah. And it probably makes them feel young again, because most boomers seem to be incapable of acknowledging how old they are.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you're
see
old.
most
Yeah.
boomers have sport cars nowadays. And
I think we were talking about last time of, you know, coming out a bunch of dust and just
Yeah.
coughing out like
The dusty load.
if you see
Mhm.
if you see dust come out, like, you're old, man. Don't try to trick yourself
Yeah.
with a motorcycle.
Yeah, man. Anyway, I don't know. I just find them Harley Davidson's annoying, and it just seems that whenever I hear that freaking noise, I look over and it's almost always a freaking boomer on it.
Luckily, the boomers I know are all fat, so they ride those tricycle motorcycles.
Oh.
So there's no
Oh,
pretension at all.
those, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well, because it should be like biking around, like that should be a young dude's thing, like an
Yeah.
early 30s, like just before settling down. But they're a bunch of like 50 to 60-year-olds.
Yeah.
I mean,
with
and
the
the
crappy bandana or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, look at me, my loud ass Harley. I don't know. Am I wrong? Like
Well,
you guys?
I mean, the
You're
only
not
thing
wrong.
I'll point out is that Harley Davidsons are pretty shitty motorcycles. Like, they're super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There are
I
like
don't know nothing
there are
about
way better,
motorbikes.
cheaper motorcycles from just like
Yeah.
other brands. Like, it's totally like the Bose of
Right.
motorcycles.
It's just an
which is
image, right?
Really
Yeah.
overpriced, and it's like, yeah, I mean, they're not bad motorcycles, but they're super uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
like, you definitely wouldn't want to go like across the country
Right.
on them. It's like, oh no, just pick this other one.
And you're buying it for the name.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boomer suck.
Boomers, do you have some weathernetwork.com comments?
I didn't load any up, but if
Because I
Corey, you said-
definitely
Did you
brought-
troll anybody,
I
Andy? You
brought
said
one
you were
up.
going to start the troll one.
I get
You-
home and I forget everything.
If you want to look up some comments, I'll bust out.
I was
the
about
story.
to say, if you want to tell a boomer story there or story or whatever,
I've got a
I can-
story. I can do a boomer story afterwards if you want.
all the
Oh,
stories. I,
I
want
can-
all the stories.
I can tell today's Weather Network question will probably generate.
I already
ridiculous
had it pulled up.
Is it based on today's?
the
All
wisdom
right.
teeth one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just.
Yeah.
Or do you want to?
We're going to Weather Network.
Yeah,
or
we'll
what?
do Weather Network and
Okay.
then we'll get into
Okay.
you. Is everybody born with wisdom teeth? Is the comment. So weathernetwork.com,
Okay.
they have a little Q&A section. They put a little like the lamest, most boring trivia thing, and then
And then a bunch of fucking boomers just go
So-
wild commenting.
yeah. Well, there's a vote of yes
there
or
a
no.
vote? Yes
but
or
then
no?
there's a vote of yes
Okay.
or no. And is everybody born with their wisdom teeth?
Just so everyone knows, the correct answer is who gives a shit. As
Yeah.
is always the answer to these questions.
Okay, so what I want to know, Braden, is what comments do you think you'll hear from a baby boomer? From is
Comments about how something about wisdom, not having wisdom
It's
or
gonna be
missing
stuff
people.
like, "Oh, my neighbor sure could have used some wisdom." teeth or something."
yeah. Yeah.
You guys are really close. We got would be nice if some people were born with wisdom. ... Just saying. ...
I think there's gonna be one right wing guy who's like, I just don't like Muslims.
Nah, boomers don't. It's
They're
all,
not inflammatory
It's all about like jokes that aren't even good enough to be dad jokes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's
that's
like,
what they are.
don't they tell stories like, well, I was at the dentist with my
They
granddaughter.
do say things like that.
There's
except
a bit
for
of that.
except for they don't tell stories that are even that relevant. They just tell stories of like, I was out with my family like last night.
Not on the internet.
Here's a good top level comment. So it's not a reply to anything. From Margaret Lang. Thanks to all who rallied round for Dan's birthday party. It was great fun.
That is a boomer comment.
And now I bid you all a good night. Sleep tight, wink.
That was a response.
That was a comment.
To-
that was a
standalone
That was
comment.
a standalone top level comment from is everyone born with their wisdom teeth?
Is Weather Network like hosting birthday parties now? Like,
no,
this is
it
a
has
new
nothing to do with
Boomers
anything.
don't get
Boomers don't
social
get it.
media,
Weather
man.
Network is weathernetwork.com is the internet central location for baby boomers.
Yeah.
This
It
is
is their social
You
network.
think
This
it's
is
an old
their
folks home,
face-
but it's not.
Yeah,
This is their Facebook.
It
This
totally
is their Instagram. All their social, their Tinder. It's all on weathernetwork.com. That's where boomers go for it.
That's how Saul Goodman.
You guys
and-
haven't come out across anything like very inflammatory quite yet.
They don't.
No,
they're
no,
they're
no,
not
it's-
inflammatory because they're like sincere and they just
It's
want to
a
wish
bunch-
everyone goodwill.
It's a bunch of grandmas talking about their grandson's wisdom teeth. Like it's
Yeah, do we have any more comments?
Are they the people without wisdom law?
Lol.
Howard Graham comments, "My teeth are like stars. They come out at night."
Oh, dentures.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so yeah.
Over to you, Corey.
all right. So last time you guys were telling stories about furries, and
Briefly, yes.
Oh.
I got a story for you.
Good.
Are you a furry?
No,
Oh.
Is Larry
This
a
is-
furry?
Larry-
It's all
Larry in
hilarious.
this?
if Larry was a furry, you'd be the first one to know. We don't know much about Larry.
The lore says.
Yeah. We don't know
legend.
much about him, but I'm going to stay focused on this one and
Okay.
Okay, furries.
get through this.
First.
So I was going to a convention with a friend in Seattle.
Like a comic book style.
Yeah, like a
convention?
comic book
Okay,
style
okay.
convention. And basically, we were staying in a hotel where, how could I say, there was a diverse group of fans there.
Uh-huh.
Like diverse as in like different tastes of certain
You don't have
things.
to beat around the bush.
Yeah,
As in furries.
there were furries.
We
there.
all anytime people talk about diversity, they're talking about furries.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need more
We
diversity.
need more diversity in our movies. They're talking about furries.
Yep. So yeah,
Furries have been underrepresented in
Yes,
our
they have.
media for
Yeah.
too long.
Why isn't a furry won an Academy Award?
Yeah.
First furry to be the lead in a Star Wars summer blockbuster. All right, so anyway,
okay.
you're at a furry convention.
we're
which
not-
You're huge into.
We're not at a furry convention. I will
Yeah.
correct this for everyone listening. We're not at a furry convention. We're at a comic book convention.
Okay.
It's in Seattle. Basically, my buddy goes and hangs out with a couple of his other friends. I'm walking around,
Nice.
Yeah. So I see a lot of furries there. I'm like, okay, I'm okay with this. I'll just steer clear of these guys. We meet up again.
So how did you know? Were they in full furry attire?
Yes.
Are you hanging out like in the hotel?
Fur
No,
attire,
they're
or-
hanging out in the hotel. Like they're just hanging around.
All right.
This is not where it gets weird. I'm gonna have to fast forward a bit. We're
Yeah,
at
fast forward to all the good parts.
just shut up for 2 minutes, okay? Just shut up and do Mueller stuff for a second. So anyway, we go to Arby's. Oh, this is a good tip for you guys. Never go to Arby's in the States because it's not like Canadian Arby's. They use a weird sauce.
I
They
don't go
use
there
onion
either.
buns, and there's HP sauce on
And there's
everything.
furries that are working the counter.
Arby's. Yeah,
Uh,
they're all about roast beef at Arby's. Is that right?
Yeah. They don't put enough cheese on
Which
it
is
either.
like a lame sandwich.
Yeah.
Who wants a
Uh,
roast beef sandwich?
Anyway, so we go
Okay.
to Arby's. The service was terrible. The tables were sticky. It was a typical, and they didn't have iced tea. That was another thing that pissed me off. They didn't have iced tea.
Tell me this is not the interesting part
No.
of the story.
I can hear Mueller sighing over there. So we'll basically.
I mean, that
Get
was
to the
way more
furries.
than a sigh.
The furries.
Give
We
me
gotta
the
hear about the
furries.
furries.
All right.
Furry.
So I get food poisoning from Arby's. I decide.
Are you sure it wasn't from the furries?
Are you sure
No.
that you didn't just
From-
eat Arby's and the normal thing that happens when you eat Arby's happened?
Sure. Was
Anyway,
food
I'm getting
poisoning
I'm
from
getting to the,
chowing
I'm,
down on some of that hot furry meat.
I'm getting to the point where so I go to bed. I'm gonna wait this out. I'm sick in my room the entire time. I finally pass out. So I wake up and I hear music,
Yeah.
and I can kind of see people dancing, and someone's right beside me, and something soft brushes my face.
Oh my God.
And I look up and it's a tail, and there's a My Little Pony furry standing right above me.
Massive strap on.
There, and then there's another pink one over here, and then there's another one over there, and I'm like, how the fuck did these guys get in my room? Turns out my friend brought his friends into the room and decided to have a party. So I've got a bunch of drunk furries in the room, and they're all dancing around me. I'm like, I wake up like, get the fuck out of here. And
man.
yeah, it was. I don't know. So to this day, I don't know if they molested me or not.
You can only hope.
This is why everyone is so like pro Second Amendment in the States. In case
Yeah.
you wake up and there's a bunch of furries around you.
I
You want a
That's right.
shotgun at that time.
Oh yeah. Full
That's
of
it.
semen.
That's what you guys were waiting for.
Yes.
Did it
Well,
appease the Mueller god?
You've seen more furries than I have in my life.
I've seen a lot.
You are a resident furry expert, I think, at this point.
I've definitely I don't even know what I would do. But I'd love to go to a
I didn't-
I shake their hand, maybe. I don't know.
I'd
It'd
love
be
to
weird.
go to like a weird
Congratulations.
furry
Yeah.
convention or for the same reason like
Yeah.
I'd love
Their
to go to
tail.
an Insane Clown Posse concert.
They're
but
big on
Yeah.
hugging.
going
I
to a
found.
furry convention would
yeah.
be incredible.
They
Yeah.
want to hug. You have to smell their ass.
They really wanted to
say
hug
hi.
me. They kept doing this the entire time.
And they kept also thrusting.
Yeah.
It was really
I don't know.
weird.
It was a weird hug. It's a type of hug that
Crazy, man.
makes
Yeah.
you feel kind of funny.
I yeah. Whew.
I'm glad you're. Are you okay?
I'm
Maybe not.
fine. Yeah, I've seen worse.
Jingle All The Way.
Yes.
Jingle All The Way is a movie that your older brother wants to watch and you don't want to watch.
I don't think that
Are you
sucks.
speaking just from experience?
No, this is a general experience.
You sure?
This is a general
'Cause
experience.
a lot of things you describe are just your life.
This is a cultural.
Mueller does not know what
culturally-
subjectivity means. So it definitely is.
or objectivity.
We're not going to go down that road.
No, we're not. I'm just a disclaimer.
But you don't know what subjectivity is.
Anyway, so
That's
your
just your opinion.
Yeah, that's just your opinion.
so your lame family loves Jingle All the Way,
yeah.
which is not surprising.
Yeah, alongside other great movies like Dante's Peak and Daylight and all these other movies that nobody
It's
would
always
ever wanna
Daylight
watch.
you bring up.
Dude,
It's such a-
Daylight, it's so bad. They're all just stuck in a tunnel.
the whole movie. It's just, it's an
Oh, I
old
remember
Stallone
that
movie.
Yeah,
they're like-
it's like a flooded,
very
like
boring.
a car tunnel, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a car tunnel
Yeah,
and it gets
And they're
like,
just trying not to drown.
yeah.
The whole movie.
yeah.
And it's so boring.
And Stallone tries to go up through like some fans, and then the
Yeah.
fans start going, and like he almost gets shot.
Sandra Bullock
And
in
there's-
that one.
there's
I don't
so-
remember.
And for some reason, there's bad guys in it. I don't even know
Yeah,
why.
I don't know
He
how
ends up
that-
killing a few. Anyway,
Terrorists.
yeah, there's bad guys in it. Yeah, that's a weird
I
movie.
mean, that's better than most of these disaster movies
That's
that
true.
don't. But it's like they're the type of movies that you really would like watch once and be like, yeah, I didn't even need to see that once. And let's watch. Do you guys want to watch Daylight again? Like it's like, no, I don't want to watch Daylight ever again. Like, and you're too young to be able to put into words that your opinion is actually kind of valid. And like, oh, well, maybe there's something wrong with me. Everyone else seems to like it a lot, and it's like, that's like, nope, it's terrible, it's garbage, and your family's an idiot. And Jingle All The Way is exactly that movie. It's just there's a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger he's trying to get the Turbo Man, and he's too busy getting the Turbo Man that his neighbor comes over and tries to have sex with his wife. And then you're just kind of watching that, and you're like, wow, this is really awkward. I wish that Arnold Schwarzenegger, that huge guy, was home to beat up the guy who is trying to have sex with his wife. But nothing ever comes of it.
I think his wife punches him out in the end.
Yeah, or something but certainly Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know she throws like latte in his face or something like that.
Yeah, I remember. I think I vaguely remember a latte. And
wouldn't Arnie just kick his ass though?
Like, well, that's what the movie is. It's like I guess it's like all these other movies we're talking about. It's like, let's take this amazing hulking guy and just feminize him entirely until he's just some lame guy who can't even protect his own wife.
Is this another one of those? I haven't seen this movie for anyone, just for clarity, but is this another one of those Arnold movies where they try to pass him off as just like a typical American?
Yeah, like he's not clearly a Hulk.
Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger can't fake any accent to save his life, so he has this thick Austrian accent.
Give me the Turbo Man. I mean, my accent is pretty bad, but
they even give him a typical American job. Like he runs a mattress company.
Yeah, he works, or does he run it, or does he just work at it?
No, he runs it. He runs a mattress shipping company.
Wikipedia says he's a salesman at the Maccapedia.
Well, maybe he also.
Mattress. Maccapedia says he's
either way. The idea of Arnold Schwarzenegger having any position at a mattress store, factory, whatever.
He's just working at the mattress factory.
Carry mattresses on with one arm, like a tree.
Yeah, maybe that does make a lot of sense.
No, they did not show any. Yeah, he's like he definitely doesn't look like a huge guy in it the way that they kind of film it. I mean,
but it's still Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just mean with his like thick Austrian accent. He's like, going home to my American wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible movie. First off, it's a Christmas movie, so that's minus like 50 points right there.
Well, also like let's point out the obvious here. During Christmas, you're watching movies with the family. What the hell are you watching Jingle All The Way for? It's obvious what movie you should be watching, which is not Die Hard, because a lot of people say that. It's obviously fucking Gremlins. You should be watching Gremlins. I forced my family to watch Gremlins last Christmas.
Yeah, I remember you kind of into it.
Dude, it works. I know it's like it's literally takes place during Christmas, but it works so well. I never realized how well it works as a Christmas movie, because while the movie's not centered around Christmas, like there's nothing Christmas.
Well, that's what's good, because it occurs at Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie.
But there's so much like Christmas themed shit, like the gremlin attacking the mom from the Christmas tree, and his eyes are lit up like a Christmas bulb. The gremlin's doing the Christmas caroling, and there's just it's got this whole winter setting. It's great. That's the Christmas movie, not Jingle All The Way.
Yeah, it's definitely not. Jingle All The Way is garbage.
I'm just saying, like, who the hell's throwing this on?
When you mentioned that, I remember that it turns out we did actually study Gremlins for a little while in film school.
Oh, yeah, that's because it's a brilliantly structured movie.
We watched the scene with the Christmas tree where she stabs the gremlin.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah,
and it was in film theory. Actually, we watched that.
Nice.
Maybe film school isn't a total waste of $40,000 after all.
This is like a return to Gremlin of the week here.
Yeah, thanks, Corey.
I can see structurally why they set that up, because like leading up to the mom killing all the gremlins in the kitchen, like there's all this great foreshadowing. You see like their dust prints on like the CD player. You see like paw prints on the wall, and then you see like shadow in the background. It's great. It's just a great build up to an awesome Gremlin massacre scene.
Ooh, it's sexy. Anyway,
there's Jingle All The Way.
There's a scene in
that's the Gremlin of the week. There you go, Mark.
Take that, Mark.
There is a scene in Jingle All The Way where there is a parade.
I remember scenes briefly something.
Parades are big in the United States.
Yeah, it's a U.S. thing, man.
He's like dressed up like Turbo Man or something.
Isn't it the Macy Day Parade?
He dresses up like a real life Turbo Man to get the Turbo Man doll. Why doesn't he just steal the costume and go back to his kid as Turbo Man?
That was a mistake, because he ends up walking into the change room of Turbo Man. Apparently, stunt double for Turbo Man didn't show up. They just assumed this large man was Turbo
You know
Man.
a lot of specifics about.
Yeah, I
Jingle All
recently
the
watched
Way.
Jingle All the Way.
So Corey, like he had as much notice as we did that
Yeah.
we were doing this. He's pulling this out of his ass. It's very impressive.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He
You
had,
guys gotta.
he had far more notice than I did. You guys were talking about this during dinner, and I showed up
Yeah, well,
afterwards and asked what are we
For a
doing?
whole week, I'm like, what movie are we doing? What movie are we doing? We'll figure it out.
Anyway, yeah. Well done.
You guys are the worst.
I'm sorry. I'm doing my best to salvage. the
Sorry, so
Jingle All
he-
the Way
Yeah,
episode.
by telling everybody how ill prepared we are, just constantly
Yeah,
remind
'cause
funny.
that's the funny part of
Mhm.
this
It's
whole
funny.
story. Anyway,
parades, man. I don't even want to know that there's a parade going on in my own town. I don't want to see a parade. I don't want to hear about a parade. And I definitely don't want to see a parade in a movie
Yeah, what's
that I'm
the-
supposed to be enjoying.
what's the appeal of a parade?
I don't know,
There's
man.
no appeal of a parade. They're the worst.
Yeah, Corey's right though. It's a U.S. thing, man. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is. People like just glamorize it. The Thanksgiving Day parade. Like, people sit at home and watch the parade on TV.
And
It's like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the Macy's float, a store that isn't even interesting enough to go into.
Yeah.
It's just a Sears.
Like,
I can't wait
yeah.
to see the Sears float. Literally the most boring store that I can even think. It's so boring that all the people on the board died and they closed down the store. Like,
Well-
why would I want to see that for entertainment?
do you remember in that Seinfeld episode, Elaine's boss, she wins that radio contest to get him on the float for this parade, and he
For the Woody Woodpecker.
yeah, and he talks about, and he's rich, and he talks about how it was a dream of his since he was a little boy to be in this parade. Like, are you kidding me?
Who
But it's a
cares?
I guess it's a cultural thing, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
bizarre.
because there's a lot
To
of
be
ad
fair, he
revenue
was a
generated.
fictional character.
Yeah,
What is this guy thinking?
Maybe it was Larry David's critique on parades.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The only-
They like they don't go ahead.
no, that's fine.
They do like they'll do like news commentary, like Fox News will even get it on it. You know, like they'll do every news station will have like a commentary on the parade.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, Fox News is probably leaning a little more right, like, oh, we're getting rid of Christmas now.
Breaking news: 500,000 more Americans dead of boredom. Great. The only parade that I ever want to be in
The
is
gay pride parade.
it's just the
Nailed
gay
it.
pride parade.
Yeah. Here,
They're fun. I've
you
been
beat
to
me
one.
to it.
I knew time was of the essence.
Actually,
get in there.
I accidentally volunteered for the
Oh,
pride
yeah.
for Pride this year.
Accidentally, how did you walk into a store looking to buy a strap on, and before
Yeah.
you know it, you're in the middle of the parade?
Before I knew it, I was just
Yeah.
It was
in
exact.
the parade.
It was exactly like Jingle All the Way. I walked into this change room and this guy's like, "You're late for the parade," and they started glossing on a bunch of makeup and drag and
Yeah.
fake tits on me, and then they just
They
shoved
gave me a
out there.
jetpack. and-
Yeah,
That
and
sounds
they
awesome.
Gave me a jetpack and watched me out. That was the real story. Moving on. No, they asked me to do some lighting or something for some concert or event.
How long ago was this?
Well,
he
it was
sent
last.
us-
It was last month. Remember, I
Mulder
was
sent a
saying,
message. He's like, I'm doing sound at the Pride Parade. He just said it with no context. And then the jokes just went crazy for like an hour or
I was
two.
like,
It was-
this is the gayest
Okay,
place
so
I've
how-
ever been.
So how'd you accidentally?
I thought that I was volunteering for a music festival and not the gay pride parade. So what ended up happening was,
And most of the music you like is really gay.
Yeah,
so you're like,
so
oh yeah, I know.
couldn't
all
tell the
I can-
difference.
yeah.
yeah.
You got a
So
good tone out of this.
so basically what it ended up me being was just manning a spotlight for all the drag queens. I
That's
just
awesome.
and like so the controls for the spotlight were really awkward. They were two like little digital spinny wheels that I could like
Huh.
spin with each finger, and there was a bit of a delay on them and stuff, and they were like running around on the stage, so I'm like trying to like track it and like spin these wheels like I'm driving a forklift or something, and it's totally inaccurate. So I was just, nobody was more intensely staring at these drag queens than me. And all these people wanted to be there, and it's like the hottest place I've ever been. Like it was during that heat wave that we had or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it turns out drag queens super boring. They just lip sync to really boring techno.
Yeah, I bet that novelty wears off pretty
Yeah,
pretty quickly.
and
at
there
a
was
parade.
not just one. There wasn't just like, oh, here's a 3-minute song and then on to the next thing. It's like, here comes the 45
How long
minutes
did you have
of
to do this
drag
for?
queens doing. It was like a 2-hour event, you know.
Where do you go pee?
Yeah,
Gotta hold it?
in a jug. We've been over this.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
they had a bit of an intermission, but there was a a female lesbian comedian who was actually pretty funny. So and then she got the shortest amount of time out of anyone. Oh, quick, let's pull on these drag queens lip syncing to boring techno again. Like get off the stage, like only entertaining person. So that's what I think of parades. They need to replace everything with comedians.
Okay.
I mean, I think if the parade was actually a little more like having jetpacks and Jingle All The Way.
That'd be
Anyways,
cool.
Sounds like you really like Jingle All the Way.
yeah, I really love Jingle All The Way with all these parades. Why don't we get to our ad read?
Oh,
we got
that
a
would be
we got a
me.
nice guest ad here.
I made this
That's
up
how
on the-
ads work.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
we
got
got
it.
notes out.
that
We're-
revenue stream.
We're technically a non-profit charitable organization, so we have to let other people bring on.
Does that
they
mean we
get
don't pay
paid.
taxes?
We are definitely
Yes.
non-profit.
Yeah.
All right.
Write this off.
So
That's a write-off.
I will do the best I can with this one. All right. So I'm bringing in an ad today. It's an ad for an app, actually. It's more of a social justice app. So
What's it called?
I'm intrigued.
it's called cultural app appropriation.
Awesome.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
All right.
Tell us
So-
about this app.
All right. I'll read you what I've got here.
Yeah. Just
Have
read
you
off
ever
the
wondered
words.
if the activity you're doing is okay for your race? Have you ever worn the wrong theme prom dress to your grad? Have you ever wondered if taking yoga is stealing culture from India and making it your own? Well, we have the app for you. Look no further. Cultural app appropriation.
And how does it? All
right.
How does it work?
Okay, glad you asked. So basically, you put in your race in column A, you put in what you're doing in column B, and in column C, you get the result if you're allowed to do that item.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's just a trick app where the last item always says no.
Pretty much. Like,
The answer is always
no.
well, you can set the bar like as far left as you want to go,
So
or
it's
as
a
far
sliding
right as you
scale.
want to go. Yeah.
Okay, so it's
So it's
okay.
like you have your political spectrum. You can go left or you can go right.
It's not just run by
Yeah.
the radicals.
No, it's not run by your friends who think yoga is. I can't remember what it was, like stealing something from India, or all that, or feminist stuff.
Yeah, well, I know that there's a job protection feature on it where it sets the sliding scale for you.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
you'll never do anything that'll make you lose
Yeah.
your job.
Yeah.
Constantly updated.
Mhm.
They're always scanning the news to see which celebrity CEO is getting fired
Yep.
that day. So updated by the hour.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's still in beta right now, but they think they're gonna roll it out.
We
next
need
month.
beta testers for cultural app appropriation.
Yep.
Go
Gotta make that money.
to go to cultapp.com/realmen
Mhm.
to redeem this promo code.
Yeah, get your
Awesome.
discount code for 10% off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you guys know that 24-hour bidding website on Facebook?
Oh, I know all
Yeah,
about it.
give just a brief
Yeah, so
explanation to people.
The
There.
24-hour bidding is just full of a bunch of haggard ass moms, and people post up items they want, and they'll say, okay, I'm selling my dirty old socks. Starting bid is $1,000, and then basically you get 24 hours. So after 24 hours,
You're dead.
Yeah, the bid is over. So you always want to be kind of like the last person dead.
You just die.
You always want to be the last person though.
So you gotta time it,
bid.
right?
You got to time it at the last second, right? So really, it's like if you posted it at 11 o'clock a.m. the next day, you want at 10:59, you got to be on the last second to get the highest.
Can
bid.
you outbid by like a penny?
You can outbid by $1. I think it's 50 cents is the minimum or something. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Anyway,
So this guy, so what you really don't want to do on the 24-hour bidding is you don't want to bid up right after the person posts.
people
like,
do that all
What
the time.
what you want to do is
Unless you're like me and you just go on there to ruin.
yeah,
everything.
exactly. If you want to screw with everybody, that's a great strategy.
Yeah.
If you want to get the item for the cheapest price, what you want to do is just not bid anything and then wait till the last second and then put your bid in, because now it seems less competitive, and less competition means you're more likely to get it for a lower price. I've gotten I just
That's
got
the
like
opposite of capitalism.
Yeah, I just got like a $300 TV stand for $10, off of it, and it's like brand new sticker on it and everything. So like you can totally
Sweet.
get good deals. So my dad's building this shop, and he needs, I don't know, 700.
He needs a shop.
He needs he needs a shop.
Who's selling a shop?
He needs a bunch of
20
bricks. Bid is starting bid negative. Take it. So he needs a bunch of brick, and
Yeah.
just coincidentally, this guy somebody had posted up 200 bricks or whatever, and it's like this, like
Sweet.
it's probably $700 or $800 worth of bricks, right? It's like, okay, awesome. So within the first hour, these fucking old baby boomer guys are like bidding it up by
Just
like
don't get it.
$25, and it's like the guy bids and then he quickly goes back on and bids another $25, and I'm like, you idiots, there's 23 hours left in this bid. Like, what are you doing?
Bricks are
Having
It's like $4,000 by the end.
yeah, like, what are you thinking? So in a very self-righteous way, I posted this and I was just like, why are you bidding up so much? There's still 23 hours left. And this guy,
Yes.
yeah, this guy gets in a huge huff and puff about it. And he's like, well, it's capitalism. It's my money and I can spend it on whatever I sure darn well want to spend my money on. And I'm not telling you how laws work, you dipshit. Like, I'm telling
like, just because it's capitalism doesn't mean just throw as much money all over the place. That's capitalism, man.
Yeah. So at this point, like, it's already up to $75, which is pretty high for the first hour of it, really. Like, you're expecting to see it at like $10 or $5, and it works its way up, and hopefully you get it for $200 or $300 and you've got a good deal.
So wait, was this something that you were interested in?
Well, I wanted to get the bricks for my dad, right?
Oh, right,
so,
for the shop.
So it's at like $75 at this point, and this guy just makes this big hissy fit about this, and I'm like, yeah, like, I'm just saying it's not a good strategy. Like, you can do whatever you want. And the guy just is like, just going on about it. So I went and bid $200 on the bricks like the next second. And then basically nobody bid on it till the end. And then that guy won for like $230. So I know that I cost him at least another $100 just for being a decrepit old baby boomer.
Attaboy.
Yeah. So I felt pretty proud of myself. I was willing to pay $200, so I was happy if I won. But normally I would have waited till the end. I thought, well, maybe if I do it at the beginning, then it'll really push this guy's wallet.
Awesome.
Yeah. So and then
this is why baby boomers can't retire, because they just they just don't understand how 24-hour bidding works. They're spending so much money. Like, I gotta work more to pay off my 24-hour bidding debt. I can never retire.
Get a second mortgage on their $50,000 mansion.
Yeah, he bid like 50 cents more than me just to kind of spite me and whatnot.
Ooh.
Like, and I was like, idiot, you spited yourself.
You're at 50 cents.
You think that I care? Like, you just bid $125 extra than you were bidding because of me. Like, good job.
That's vindicating.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it felt real good.
Wait till the rest of people at weathernetwork.com hear about this one.
Hey, this should have been my baby boomer of the week here. Baby boomers
I actually have a 24-hour bidding, awesome, like a choosing beggar style story. So,
great. Choosing beggars.
Yeah, it's a Reddit. It's a subreddit. Check it out.
Yeah. It's
I don't know how to explain it well.
It's exactly beggars can't be choosers, and it's the exact opposite of that. It's beggars being choosers. Hey, can you spare some change? I'm homeless, and it's like, oh yeah, here's $5. I want 50 actually. Yeah, like 5 is not really.
5. Can I get that loony?
Yeah. It's like being picky about asking for free things are unreasonable.
So my wife's selling a few of my old shirts. They're still in good condition, all that. So for starting bid, $5. This one guy, she didn't get any bites on it, which is fine. But this one guy messaged her. He's like, okay, I only want one of those shirts. I'm going to pay $1. And she's like, how about 3? Like, that's fair. Still pretty much a brand new shirt for $3. You can't find that
Everybody is in the wrong in this story already.
Okay. So he's like, okay.
$2.
I know, but it's about
and this is definitely for old heavy metal t-shirts. By the way.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't actually. It's for it's for like a dress shirt that I don't care for anymore.
I'll just sell this shirt here. Do you want to buy my shirt?
For $1?
How about $3?
The shirt you're wearing right now looks like something a female nurse would wear.
Me and Brayton both bought this
I was with
shirt.
him. I was with him when he bought it.
Didn't you buy the same?
No,
shirt?
I bought a long sleeve purple shirt.
Oh yeah, we both bought purple shirts when we were going to get. We were both getting
for job interviews.
Yeah, we were both getting job interviews,
I'm sure
and we didn't
do well at your new job at the hospital. Anyway,
so my wife's more about the principle. She's like, no, 3. He's like, okay, $2. She's like, how can I'll give it to you for? And she's already annoyed. She's realized like I don't even know why I'm bothering at this point. Yeah. He's like, okay, I'll give you 3. Where do you live? And she tells us where he lives. He's like, oh, I hate driving up there. I'll still give you 3, but can you meet me in town? And she's like, I'm done. And she just didn't even message him back. He's like, what a jackass. Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me one the other day.
Should have sent him a picture of it, like on fire. We're like, there it is.
Yeah.
idiot.
Yeah, dude, that would be a great thing to start doing. I just sold my old TV stand, and the guy, yeah, can I come pick it up in 4 days?
They do that.
Dude, like, are you kidding me? And then 4 days comes, it's like, oh, sorry, I'm really busy with work. Like, can I just do it? And the
Dude.
next time I just message him, just like, dude, I'm throwing this out. Like, you can come get it tonight. But you just give me a great idea. I should definitely just light it on fire
And send this guy a picture. Yeah, it's great.
great.
Just
That's
get
awesome.
it in pieces in a dumpster or something.
Hope you like your TV stand now.
I actually
Pick
thought
it up
your
at the-
story was going to be because you were talking about how you wanted a new laptop, and I was like, oh, were you bidding on the same laptop the guy bear maced you for? Like, that would be hilarious. Like, you're like, oh, look, a new laptop, and you
Yeah.
get to the guy's door, and it's like you, and he just bear maces you again.
Well, the worst part about these people is like, so they get in these intense bidding wars, and they get to the point where they're bidding close to the value of the item
Yeah.
new,
Yeah.
because they're like just invested in
Yeah.
the auction. And you run into these people who they do all these intense bids, and they bid at the last second. And it's like, oh, can I pick that up in 6 days? Like,
Dude,
like,
it's brutal.
Or they
They do that.
eventually just never pick it up. It's like, well, you just screwed everybody else who wanted to
Yep.
get that, and you screwed me. Like,
They're preaching to the choir, man.
yeah, and
Yeah.
and the people who have bid on it before, like, they're most likely not really looking at that
Yeah.
other inbox, so you can message them.
And the
nothing
stupid
really
thing is,
happens.
it's like a sunk cost fallacy, but it's like they haven't spent anything. All they did was invest like a bit of emotion and time
Yeah.
into it. It's like, what do you care that much? They're bidding.
I already bid
price of
this
the item.
much.
Yeah,
So,
it's.
yeah, it doesn't.
I've been following this post for almost 24 hours. I better get it.
My favorite is when they're like, admit, and they just start like arguing over stuff. Oh, it's so great.
Yes. Oh man.
Admit,
So,
admit, yeah.
Okay.
I want this audited.
We're getting nice into Chilliwack 24-hour bidding.
Oh, there's
Okay.
there's a group of middle-aged women who will just go full admin on them. And
So, the way that you see the post is you hover over the post time, and it tells you exactly when the post was done, right? So it's like, oh, it's 11:02 is when the post was made. So the next day is 11:01, 59 seconds. That's the cutoff, right? So you run into these people where you've bid after them, because I'm really good at it. I have my clock, my Mac synced with the Facebook
Really
clock,
good at-
so I can
Uh-huh.
bid at 59 seconds and 99 milliseconds. You know, like, nobody can beat me.
Andy is so impressed right now.
No one
So
can beat me. You
impressed.
know, I got people asking me, "Hey, can you bid on these items for me? Like, I know you got a real nice, slick trigger finger."
so you're like a bookie for other people.
yeah. I don't get paid. So you run into these people who are like, they're just total technological plebs. Like, they're bid at like, they're like, oh, well, you know what? I bid last second. It was like 2 minutes before the bid ended. And it's like, dude, what? I'm not even looking at this 2 minutes before. I'm looking seconds at the very end.
Yeah.
59 seconds,
Do
man.
you know
I'm
how
bidding-
quickly I could replace you with a robot?
Yeah, what are you doing? Like, thinking, yeah. So these people though, it gets backed up though with the gall for them to be like, no, that guy posted.
Yes, I'm sorry. This is more weird Mueller elitism. Where it's like 2 seconds. Ah, you're just pathetic. Like this weird bragging point you have. But
They
your
are pathetic, man.
Yeah.
programs for the 24-hour.
So they think you've cheated or something, and they.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they'll bid 10 seconds after. Like, oh yeah, you know, I've got it figured out. And here I'm sitting here on like a satellite clock, you know, with down to the seconds. Like, you guys don't even know what you're matched up against. And then so the first thing they do is like, oh no, he bid too late. Like he didn't make the cutoff or whatever. It's like, I definitely did. You just hover over the time of your comment, and it tells you. Like, it's a binary thing. Was it
Yeah.
11:01 or 11:02? If it's 11:02, you didn't make it. You hover over mine. It's 11:01. Oh yeah, he made it, right? And it's like, no, get the admin in here. And then so the greatest part is there's a little delay before whatever the mom's administrating this Facebook group, before they come in, and of course they just come into the page and they hover over it and they're like, oh yeah, he won. Like it's like they're not doing anything special but what you could have done at home.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You idiot. Like, then people don't seem to know how to hover over things and figure out what time it was.
The admins even like did a thing where they're like, please don't bother us for trivial bullshit like this. We have lives.
So there's like a 5 to 20 minute delay before these people with lives have to come in and administrate this
Yeah, they gotta
comment
take
thing.
time out of their freaking day.
Yeah, so there's 5 to 20 minutes where these just asinine either baby boomers or middle-aged moms start trying to argue that they actually did win the bid when like it's a very binary thing that they didn't win the bid. It's like it's the highest one and it's the latest one before the cutoff lady, and it's like they're trying to like go into all of these reasonings of like no you bid too late on this, and it's like and it's like what are you doing? It's like trying to argue a court case before like in the lobby before you go into the court for it to be judged. And I love this, like the futility of what they're doing. Like, it's like,
that's awesome.
What are you doing, lady? And it's like, so that's when you just get to go, no, lady, I won. What do you think of that? And you can just keep doing it. And you can, and it's like, you can act like a total bad actor in it and not be sincere and just be a jerk. And there's no rules against being a jerk. So you'll still win.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I love the 24 hour.
You got to come up with like a clever Arnold style pun for like whatever you're trying to buy. It's like a frying pan. Don't get so fired up. That's what you got to do.
A mutual friend of ours, his wife has her parents live in Alberta, and parents are total boomers. And her dad goes on from Alberta, goes on Chilliwack 24-hour bidding and bids on things, and then expects his daughters to pick them up.
That's very
like he went on there and he won $50 worth of cherries or something, and then he goes to his daughter. He's like, "Hey, I just won all these cherries for you."
FedEx.
She's like, I didn't ask you to get cherries. She's like, "Well, you better pick them up. They're, I paid money for them." She's like, I didn't. What? And he's like, "You kids are so ungrateful." She's like, I didn't ask you to get me cherries, Dad.
Oh, that's great.
That's hilarious.
I got nothing else on Jingle All the Way. It's a crappy movie with a bunch of crappy scenarios that are awkward, and there's a parade in it, which is the worst. And it's about a doll.
Yeah, my only experience with Jingle All the Way at the place that I work. There's a television section, and for one Christmas season, it was Jingle All the Way was playing on repeat all day for like several months. Didn't bother me too much, but because I'm working away. But every now and then I'd pass by, and I remember hearing the same line, the same one line. I swear I must have only just coincidentally passed by the aisle as this one scene was happening. Every single time it happened, because I must have heard it 1,000 times, and it's since basically become my unofficial favorite Arnold line. There's a scene where I haven't seen it, but he jumps into a ball pit or something.
Oh, yes.
To fight for a Turbo Man doll. And and then a bunch of moms think he's like a child molester or something like that.
That's right.
So they chase him out of there and they're hitting him with their purses or something like that. And then Arnold, as he's running away says, "I'm not the pervert. I just want the Turbo Man doll."
That was a great accent. That was a good one.
That was pretty good,
It's
Andy.
just the perfect representation.
The Turbo Man doll.
Turbo Man,
A bunch of words and
so funny,
and just letters that you can't pronounce properly, and it comes out so terrible.
That's a perfect example of why I don't like this movie, because it's just awkward to watch, and it's not awkward in a fun way. Like, it's not like, oh, there's this great social commentary being made.
He's not believable as like this everyday American dad at all.
No, not at all.
He's a
giant Austrian guy.
But like, so we were talking about this earlier. It's like a big part of what makes comedy work is like, you're not watching somebody go through these awkward things. You're watching someone else watch them. Like you know, like in The Office, you're watching, people looking at the camera and they like look really awkward as Michael Scott does some weird thing. Like the camera was just on him and there's no reaction shots from the other people. Then it's you watching him, and now you feel like ungrounded and like you just kind of feel weird and awkward. Like the way you're able to put up with, an episode like Scott's Tots where
painful,
where Michael Scott promises like 30 like black kids in kindergarten that he'll pay for their college, and now that time has come and he has no money, so he has to go tell them, and they're singing songs for him that they've written and dancing and all these things. That would be absolutely unbearable to watch, except for there's other people in the room and it's kind of showing their reactions to what he's saying and what's doing it on. It's like they don't put the anxiety onto you to process. They put it onto someone else to process, and you get to watch that. And then it works. Then it's fun and it's comedy and it makes sense. Jingle All the Way has none of that. They've removed that third party. You're just watching Arnold Schwarzenegger get called a pervert by a bunch of ladies through a misunderstanding. There's no real social commentary to it. And it's not
fun,
that
though.
It is kind of funny. It's funny because it's Arnold, though.
This movie sounds pretty good, actually.
I know what you mean though.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's I can't stand it. All that anxiety is just pushed onto you entirely. And
Yeah.
it's like lazy writing. Push it onto another actor. Get 90 hours of B-roll of some other person in the thing giving reaction shots. Oh man, Arnold's they're calling him a pervert.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know how they should do it. I'm not the
Well,
right.
the Jingle All the Way 2 sequel that came out apparently. One of
Apparently.
the main character is Larry the Cable Guy. So maybe they got the message.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yeah, that is rough.
Do you want to hear some of the other movies from the same director? It's quite a fucking lineup.
Yeah.
He did Problem Child 2.
Yeah, I
Not
was
the first
referencing that the
Problem
other
There's a
night.
Child.
Problem
Okay.
Child too.
I gotta ask you about
I
Problem
think there's
Child.
like 4. or
There's
something.
like
a whole
two
bunch.
main ones with John Ritter and the little ginger kid.
So I've never seen Problem Child.
Oh,
But I've seen the cover of Problem Child, and it has the kid standing on a stool, and he's holding the parents by their legs, and they're
Yeah.
upside down. So this is a movie about a kid with superhuman strength who can hold these parents, and they have to like try to raise them.
no.
no,
Oh.
it's just
No.
about a kid who's
In
just
fact,
like
I'm looking at the cover, and that's not even what it is.
he's just like he's just a little hellion.
But isn't that what the cover is?
At least not on the Wikipedia page.
Well, don't look on Wikipedia.
I'm
Like
sorry. I
there's-
had it
it's
up
all
for-
lies on there.
I loved the Problem Child movies as a kid. Anyway,
So
Yeah.
he also did several of the Beethoven movies.
Oh,
with
this
the, with
guy,
the, with
he-
the big old
Yeah.
dog.
he directed my childhood. It sounds like
Wait, there's
Fair enough.
Beethoven and Beethoven
many-
Second, man. They were pivotal movies.
He
Oh,
did.
yeah.
He did the
Beethoven's second.
He did the
pivotal.
original Beethoven. He didn't come back for a few of the
Oh,
sequels, but then
never
he
mind.
came back in 2008 for Beethoven's Big Break. Though he was
Whoa.
just the writer on that one, to
Oh.
be fair.
Wow, what a great director.
He also did the Flintstones movie
Oh,
and
isn't
the
that
Flin-
movie bad?
That one,
Yes.
yeah.
and the Flintstones sequel, Flintstones in Viva Rock.
I have seen that movie too
Yeah.
as a kid. No
I went to the
idea.
theater to see that movie actually as a kid.
Oh my god! I
Yeah.
thought that was straight to and it's amazing because it was straight to VHS. So like I don't even know.
Isn't Rick Moranis is in those,
Yeah.
though, isn't he?
In which ones?
In the Flintstone movies, he plays Barney.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So
And,
and Drug. So yeah.
Probably not in the sequel. Did he come back for the sequel? No, he did not.
Oh.
But most no.
Muller's
This work,
masturbating.
the director still working today. His most recent movie, Max 2, White House Hero, about a Secret Service dog. It's
Nice.
a dog movie, bodyguard for the president.
Oh, that's
Actually sounds pretty good.
That's I think I had a couple friends work on the first Max.
It does say that it was filmed in Vancouver.
Yeah,
I love the Max series.
Not the Mad Max series.
Yeah, it was,
This is about a
Man.
dog.
It was supposed to take a more dark tone. Like it's about this dog who was a canine unit. He was working with he was a bomb sniffing dog basically, and he would sniff out bombs
He
basically.
gets his balls blown off.
and his handler died, and he has to come. The dog comes back to the family. Basically, the dog is the dog is discharged from the military.
It's a
Awesome.
drama. He has like PTSD.
Yeah, the
Flashbacks and
dog
shit.
does have PTSD actually.
That's awesome.
I was
And,
joking, but all right.
People
yeah.
want to watch movies about dogs dying, not their handlers.
kind
That's
of-
why these movies
It's
didn't take off.
the kid
True.
the kid and the dog kind of form a relationship, but it's supposed to. Yeah, there's supposed to be some kind of bigger subtext, but going into like a campy, funny White House movie is kind of the wrong direction for that. But
He's
It's
he's
fraud.
dog-fronted movies.
Okay, let's get out of this director. I don't want to
Yeah,
hear anything
that's
more
that's
about him.
that's everything I have on Jingle All the Way.
I already knew everything I wanted to know about him and way too much from watching Jingle All the Way. I know that there's a lot of compelling Jingle All the Way talk, but people have been really begging us to get some more dating advice in here. So
Taking
We
care of
closing
business.
it off with some dating
Yeah,
advice.
yeah,
That's
What
right.
are we doing
let's,
here?
wait, Braden, do you have any more pre-baby stories before you get any sympathy?
Pre-baby?
Yeah, before.
You
Oh,
mean
I was
penis
like,
memorizing?
before I was a baby?
yeah, do you have any stories before you're a teenager, Benjamin Button style, before you were a baby?
No.
Okay, good. Here's Jennifer. She's asking us for some advice on what to do.
Jennifer.
this is a real comment.
This
Oh,
is, we need
real.
real dating advice.
Okay.
Yeah, someone definitely emailed us.
Yes.
Someone emailed you. This.
Wait,
Okay.
at
Like a
men,
heart attack.
at men at realmoviesrealmen.com.
Okay.
You can email all your dating advice, and you will get advice from men on just as the email
And Mueller.
suggests.
Does it start out with the words "Hey dipshits"?
No.
Okay.
So the subject line on the email was, "It's impossible to meet someone in my league."
Okay.
So she says,
Is this you who wrote this?
No, no.
Yeah, that sounds like baller.
No way. That's like.
I got it down in a millisecond.
I do. Yeah.
The women aren't
Just-
big enough.
You just wait. I'm an average looking woman, and it's impossible for me to meet someone who's just as average looking as I am.
You obviously have not been to Chilliwack then.
Yeah.
All I see on Tinder and Plenty of Fish is basically just studs. They're guys who are 6 feet tall with abs of steel. Now, personality wise, I have a great career. I do road trips. I own a home. I have like a very vibrant personality. I'm hardly average except for my looks. So I'd like to date people who are average looking just like me, but I'm kind of turned off by all these hot guys. And here's the problem, though.
I'm not sure I understand where
here's the
problem
question.
here? It's got to be pretty easy to find an average.
Here's the
dude,
question.
Hence the word average.
All the average guys only want hot chicks.
Yeah, I could see that.
So what do I do?
Yeah, she's got to find a fat guy.
He's got to be a fat.
I don't know.
Fat. So you got to find a really good looking fat guy. Now he's an average.
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, so it balances out.
See, the one thing people forget is if you're just average looking, or even if you're ugly, the one thing you can do is work out and get in shape. Then at least you're, from the neck down,
You can be a butterface.
you're okay. So maybe she should hit the gym a little. I don't know.
Wow, this is some legitimate advice.
It's for women. It's the same advice every week. Just be at the bar at closing. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah.
You'll find someone.
Click your heels and.
This is not.
I think this is a dating. I think it's a
women.
dating question, not like a get laid question.
Oh.
Yeah.
I
it's not-
recommend you come to Chilliwack
There we go.
and go to the local watering hole. Find the guy who comes directly from work in his high vis vest and steel toe
Did you say the
boots.
local watering hole in our own town?
Yeah,
Do
the
you not
local
know
watering hole.
What is our local?
I'm not getting paid to advertise for any
Yeah.
businesses,
Oh,
so
Come on.
okay, yeah, that's
they
true.
want me to say their names. They can start throwing some dollars my
Only
way.
that
This is
cultural.
a way to tease future advertisers.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I could have been mentioned.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
in
know.
the dating advice.
Your ad could have been.
They
here
could have
at
had
Chilliwack
customers.
watering holes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Here's
no,
what
it's good advice.
Here's what she needs to do. Like all problems, they can be fixed by line. And what if she's on a dating app or whatever? Just post a picture. It's not even you. Just like someone, like a model you find on Google image search that kind of looks like you, but like a way hotter version. Post that. Just lie. Just like, yeah, that was me. You'll get a date.
There you go. Or
I think
And
that
then, and then from there on, put out. He'll keep coming back. He's just an average dude.
he's just an average dude.
She could join ISIS as well.
Yeah.
Nah. This is not the answer.
She-
for this one.
it's a little
that's-
too
She might
average.
find she'll find a radical dude, but
Yeah. She does. She needs an average guy. So what I would say is you need to start negging these guys. You need to start making them realize that they can't do any
This is
better.
bad advice.
They can't do any better than
They're a
you.
bunch of average dudes. They're all on the brink of suicide. You can't
Yeah.
be negging them.
Yeah.
They're gonna go hang themselves.
Well, they think they're good enough for all these hot dudes, hot chicks, though. You know.
She what she
yeah,
should
but
do.
then when some fucking six comes along and
Yeah.
starts negging them, they're like, "God damn it, I can't even pull off a six."
Yeah, and then she'll be like,
hang
but
myself.
I'll go out with you, and then they'll be like, oh gosh, I can pull off a six, thank
Yeah.
goodness, and then they'll go out with you.
She could take an unflattering picture of herself or just a picture of someone who's uglier than her. And then when they go to meet her, they're like, oh, you're way hotter than I thought you'd be.
yeah,
And then she's hotter by comparison
what you need.
to her original photo.
And you'd only meet the guys who are willing to meet someone who looked kind of ugly in the photo, so you know they're not just going after.
There we
Um,
go.
This is how you can isolate those
Yeah.
guys.
Find
That's not bad, actually. I like
find
that.
Muller. He
It's
knows.
not
all-
as good as lying your ass off all the time, like I always advise people.
Is she a larger woman?
No, she says she's just
She's
average.
average.
She's
Just
average.
average in
Okay.
any way.
So what she could-
She's exactly that woman off of Crimson Peak, who's the main
Oh, the
character.
lead, yeah.
Yeah, the lead actress off of Crimson Peak that's exactly who she is.
Amorphous.
Find
Oh, my
her
God.
two ugliest friends and take a picture between them.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
It's pretty good too. Actually.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Find maybe like Muller knows a lot of larger women. If she's an average woman, she could take a picture beside them.
Yeah, well then
Possibly.
Well then they're gonna.
She'll
think,
look smaller in comparison.
Then they're gonna think that she's the hot one. and-
Exactly. She's the hot one.
so they're gonna be really disappointed when it's like, oh, you're only
not-
like 130 pounds.
Yeah.
Eh.
Who are you?
Yeah,
What is-
450 pounds.
I don't even have heart disease. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
She wants, I don't know. Average guys.
Tinder.
I love how you're like, this is all on me. I gotta.
Yeah, I know. I
solve
gotta
this
stop. I'm gonna
problem."
solve this for her. I'm gonna fix it.
We're all in here together, man. We're a bunch of men.
Yeah.
We can do it.
Just
I think we've got some good advice.
Like I said, find the guy who wears his work clothes to the bar. He has no self-esteem. You'll land him completely. I see it every day. High vis vest, steel-toed boots, right off work, straight into the pub. Track that guy, track that boy down, and you've landed yourself a man. An average man.
These fucking
average man.
women asking how to get a man. This is-
How you're a woman?
Fucking-
It's not
just
hard.
show up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Start Instagram, post a lot of pictures of your butt.
Muller?
Yeah, just send out pictures.
Okay,
Pardon?
I got an honest question for you.
Okay.
Is diabetes a turnoff for you?
What does that even mean?
What's hotter, type 1 or type 2?
Type 2, duh. You get type 2 from bad habits.
Yeah,
Type 1 you're born with.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want any of that. I have no idea.
Only interested in a heart that's diseased.
Or a pancreas that can't produce its own insulin.
Yeah.
Okay, I got I don't have a profile this time, but someone sent in another question
Oh,
for some
man.
dating advice. So
Okay.
that's
Red hot.
Yeah, red hot, 2 dating
You guys are
advices.
2 for 2 so far.
Okay, this one's a little simpler than the last one. Are you
That one was pretty simple.
ready?
Dare I say it was
Average-looking
average?
woman. Show up.
This is for a shy guy. Okay.
Mm.
I like this girl, but every time I get the chance to ask her out, I end up chickening out. Do you guys have any tips for how to prevent chickening out? Well, you have to set yourself up that
Drugs.
you can't turn back.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you prevent yourself.
I
from
would say
chickening
You're
out.
talking about doing drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
I would say
So- We're
on
build
the
your
same page.
confidence. Like maybe jerk off before you ask her out. You're gonna be much more relaxed.
That is legit advice. It's
Well, no,
or before
or
a date or whatever.
yeah.
I think that's in the
No, what you do is you don't jerk off, and you make a rule. You're like, I can't jerk off until I ask her out. So
That's an
I gotta
ultimatum.
ask her out. You give
That's an
yourself-
ultimatum, though.
But you didn't got to hold yourself
Just
to
one
it.
extreme to the other.
Yeah.
I would say
Either or.
relax, jerk off, and then ask her out.
Just be confident and be better looking.
Yeah.
And also have a lot of experience asking women out.
Yeah.
If all else fails, I hear they make these confidence pills, and what you do is you slip them into the woman's drink. I'm
So awful.
gonna stop there.
Yeah.
You're talking about caffeine pills?
Yeah, that was what I was
That's
talking
it.
about.
Yeah. Or you
Um,
could just take the pills.
You can also convince
You'd
yourself
be
that you have
asleep and then
a.
you'd-
Yeah,
I did
then
it,
you don't
right?
have to worry about anything.
Yeah, and then your friend is like, yeah, you did it, and she said no, so don't worry about it
Yeah.
anymore.
Convince yourself you have a
Problem
huge
solved.
penis. She can't turn you down.
Yeah, I've heard. You gotta. There you go, Corey. You just gotta send her a picture of your dick.
Exactly. Be
That-
like, look how big this is.
You
How
get-
can you say no?
You can't chicken out, and then she'll be like, "Oh, somebody sent me a picture of their dick. It
Yeah.
was like this harassment thing."
Yep. And
At
then be
the
like,
s-
that's not my dick.
At the school assembly, when they're like trying to, put on a sexual harassment
Mhm.
seminar because of the dick that you sent, you can nod over to your friend. Hey, that's my dick. And then
Ooh.
word will spread, and then
Okay.
the train's out of control. No chickening out.
Get in really good shape.
Easy.
All right.
All right.
We
Well,
did
We got another one?
Braden. No more.
Oh,
Braden, my friend,
My lover.
you have about 45 seconds before the end of the episode, and then I'll never see you again.
Then
Never.
Not my friend anymore.
Never.
You're dead to us.
That's
Al.
the last
yeah.
time I can call you my friend.
I'll be covered in baby puke and feces for months. It'll be awesome.
yeah, and he won't even have a baby.
Really metal. Yeah.
Yeah. My baby's not coming for 2 months. I'm just an
going-
animal.
It's a new ad read. It's a store where you get baby puke and piss, and you just pour it all over
Well,
yourself.
If you're gonna wear that though, make sure you
Yeah.
run it through cultural appropriation.
I will.
Yes.
And I am pitching a brand of baby wipes to Armor All, so you can have your baby smell like a new car. I'll let you guys know how that is.
And then you won't be able to even touch your baby's skin with a layer of plastic in between you and the baby. So that
Yeah.
sounds pretty good.
Anyway, I'll be here from time to time. Just my time as a regular contributor has come sadly, too
47 episodes in, and turns
Finally.
out you were just a quitter all along.
I was.
You're dead to me.
Well, let's find a new friend. We'll put him through 47 episodes, see if he's a better friend than Braden. Then we can invite him over to hang
Yeah.
out.
Why couldn't you pull out of something else?
You
should-
such a good.
I'm married. I don't have to pull out.
Let's end it there.
Yeah. So yeah.
So long, losers.
Bye forever, loser.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say couldn't pull out of his
Does it
wife,
work?
pulling
In
out of
real
our
Did you do that to
podcast.
Carolyn?
She's not lactating yet. I'm going to.
Yeah. You
Should.
gotta scream at her breasts.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I burp, it still tastes like donair. Yeah, that donair was stinky as fuck, man.
Yeah, it's 'cause there's onions in it.
Onions will do that.